you facing difficulties? Do you sometimes have the feeling that everything is going against you in your life? Well, don't hesitate to call Sheikh Abu. International clairvoyant and God-given African spiritual healer, I can help you with bringing back loved ones, domestic issues, family problems, depression, substance abuse, addiction, losing weight, impotency, infertility, immigration, court cases, breaking black magic, jinx, demonic forces, antisocial behaviour in people, good luck, success in business, exams, career spiritual advice, stress, job interview, and marriage, etc. Your pain is my responsibility. Quick results 100% guaranteed. Call the number now near Upton Park Station.
We got that through the letterbox today.
That is an astounding amount of issues.
It's incredible.
Someone, I mean, everything from...
And also how bad the sort of graphic design on the card is.
Yeah.
For someone who can bring back people from the dead, he can barely put together a fucking business card.
For someone who specialises so highly in infertility, you'd think he'd be able to, do something with a card. Yeah. Breaking black magic, right, but that's...
What's breaking black magic?
Well, if you've got a black magic curse on you...
Oh, breaking it.
Yeah. It's not like giving someone the powers.
I think all of them, it's like, fair enough.
Immigration?
Yeah, but all
How
of them...
would a clairvoyant help with immigration?
But I'm just saying that all of them, something could happen that he could say, he could take the credit for, apart from bringing back loved ones, which I feel like...
Was that in there?
He opens with that pretty much.
Oh my God,
That's his big opener.
But
Bringing back loved ones. I'm like, surely, I don't know, I'd feel... That's a tough one because it's... That's something that you can't bring credit for because it's never happened ever.
Would he not be able... Is he like a clairvoyant might do? He'll be, I'm hearing...
He must be.
Yeah. So that not bringing them back from the dead.
He wasn't clear, but maybe it's,
he's
maybe it's like
not
shorthand with his sort of demo.
Yeah. But what do you think he does for immigration?
Which just helps move the bureaucracy through, maybe helps with the forms.
Do you think he's just got some contacts in the Home Office?
I think he's just very good at handling paperwork.
Yeah, well, court cases. Well, demonic forces. I'm not sure there's much paperwork involved in that.
I think especially as a freelancer, myself, as I assume he might be, you do really have to diversify.
Do you not think that it's a company? Shake a Boo Limited.
Well, this is like, you're not a freelancer, so as a freelancer, one thing that I do appreciate about Shake a Boo's business model is you've really got to diversify your output. Right. You can't have all your eggs in one basket. Do you know what I mean?
That's very true.
You got to be liquid. You got to be fluid.
There's a genius in the card because I think you'd struggle to find a person who hasn't suffered from at least one of the issues on the card. They're all there.
Demonic forces.
I mean, good luck.
Yeah.
So he can give you good luck. Who wouldn't want good luck?
I do feel, he said a lot in the card that I feel like he could still the effect without, your pain is my responsibility is big. After listing, things from the specific and bureaucratic to the vague and spiritual.
Such as jinx.
Breaking black magic, demonic forces. He's talking about...
court cases, immigration.
He's doing both, which is like he's having to prove himself not only
voodoo magic, witches.
Because voodoo magic, witches is either harder or easier. It depends which way you look at it. Because it's either easier.
Magic, witches, helping with your taxes.
Abu's got you car. Defeating Balrogs.
Defeating Balrogs. Help me get a marriage license.
Ridding your basement from goblins, fulfilling your personal statement.
Microsoft Excel. I like, obviously it's an absurdly long list, but then at the end he still says etc.
Exactly.
And everything else that goes with it. Which is almost everything in life.
What I like about Shake a Boo,
and there's many things I like about him.
I think there's a real attitude. He's got a bit of a Steve the Handyman attitude, which is more, I'll have a crack at it.
Yeah, see what happens. See what happens. Shake a Boo.
What you got? You've got goblins under your bed.
I reckon it is.
Yeah,
Steve.
I've never dealt with this before, but I'll have a stab.
I reckon it is Steve.
Do you think that's the team Shake a Boo's?
In blackface.
Or Handyman Steve. I wouldn't put it past him.
No, neither would I actually. and I'd actually welcome the career change.
He'll do anything for a bit of quick cash. So
Blackfacing, pretending, because he clearly doesn't know what a clairvoyant is. I can help with immigration. How are you going to help with that, Steve?
Shake a boot.
Shake a boot to me and you. Oh. Well, maybe we could call him one time.
Andrew's dressed in all black. You're looking very mean today.
Yep. Sometimes you got to scare him to care him.
This is the big. I guess it comes in the season where it's like this is like the kind of like someone will do an outfit change where it's like they've accepted autumn's here, and for some reason this is you accepting that a change is afoot.
Did you know? Sorry. Did you notice autumn changing to autumn on Monday?
Well, I noticed it was when I came back. It was cold.
There it is.
Okay.
I'm not very well versed in the season.
Well, when you said there it is, I wasn't agreeing with you.
Yeah, I know. I know you weren't, but I tried to force a win, even though it wasn't on the cards. Do you not think it is autumn?
No, it's definitely autumn. It was autumn at the beginning of September.
Wow. What date is it? No, it wasn't.
Technically.
Get off your tits. No, it
wasn't. In the vibes, it felt like I was away for the first 2 weeks of September. So
right. So how would you know?
I wouldn't.
Exactly. Surely it's more feeling wise.
Yes.
Rather than. But is there a specific date every year?
Yeah.
Is there?
So I think it's September 1st.
We might as well rename this podcast "The Education of Andrew" for seasons, because I just still don't get.
I'd feel that would be a bad.
No, there isn't much content to go on.
Yeah, that'd be a bad move for the podcast.
Bit too specific.
We're just getting something going.
Might nail us to a certain conversation.
What would you call it? What would you call it?
The Education of Andrew. Well, yeah. See, he doesn't really flow either.
Educating Andrew about the season.
Andrew : seasons. Seasonal change. It's like.
That's not an episode, is it? That's the name.
That's the name of the podcast. Yeah.
Okay.
So we can do one episode on summer.
Yeah.
You know, the next one autumn. Maybe even the next on winter.
You start scraping the barrel very quick.
Spring.
Yeah. And then we're back again.
Part 2s and 3s.
Summer part 2.
Summer part 2. No, it doesn't have many legs.
No, this has been. I'm very sensitive to the seasons, and last time, if you can look back a year, I was on this podcast talking about the great thrill and the rush of the first 2 weeks of autumn. But
yes, because you can put trousers back on.
Yeah, well, there's a general buzz, but I haven't got that this year.
Right,
it's been sad.
Okay,
I've been sad.
Right.
Well, not sad as in like,
yeah,
there's nothing's happened, but it's more, and I haven't felt. It was more like it was just like the current of energy was bad.
What around London town?
Something in the air. Nothing particularly happened.
You're not mourning the leaves, are
no,
you?
But I haven't been like a bit sad for a while, so I enjoyed it.
Right. When?
I think over the last week, maybe it's because I built up autumn, the first 2 weeks of autumn. You might say that I've built up autumn too much.
It's one of the big lessons of this podcast that you should take, is that go in with low expectations and you always have fun.
So maybe I was building up too much, but then I got that sort of seasonal change, little pang of sadness.
Yeah. Oh, I think I got that a bit as well, actually.
If we were white women, we might say we have seasonal depression.
No.
But it's actually just a pang of sadness that just comes with the change of season. But I've learned to enjoy it.
We're white men, so we walk around the park wistfully writing diaries.
I enjoy it though, because it does feel it's not like a bleak long term thing. It's more it's quite nice. I haven't felt like it was almost like a comforting blanket of like sadness.
Yeah, warm and toasty.
Do you know what I mean? It was all like I haven't felt sad. Just there was a more of a. Summer's quite a slutty month.
It's all the shorts, isn't it?
It's short.
Knees exposed.
It's happy. It's frivolous. But there's a lack of depth. And now it's not as social. It's a bit chilly. And you're like, oh, I feel sad, but there's more depth. There's more layers to this.
Summer's for the hedonists, autumn's for the hibernators.
For the intellectuals.
The intellectuals, yes.
The emotionally deep.
Right. Yeah, it's really.
We kind of all fucking play water fights in the back garden.
No, and we try.
Some of us need to scowl at leaves. But yes, have you felt the little pang of the seasonal shift? There's a pang of energy that shifted. Maybe it's because of how bleak the news is. Because I've been out of the news, but I was asked to write some topical jokes for something this week, and that meant that I had to learn current affairs again.
Well, that's never good.
That was not good. So then I've been watching the
news.
We
don't do topical
No,
stuff.
and I was watching the news. I was like, oh, this is like the worst time to be doing topical, where it's like, yeah, everything's shit.
Yeah.
Because the pound crashing is hilarious.
The pound's gone, yeah.
Liz Truss has been in office for like 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And her first policy is like, I've never seen a policy that bad. Like, people are like saying, you kind of need to change it.
Well, the IMF have stepped in a way.
Yeah, like, guys, I know this is like you should be allowed to choose it, but you really kind of should change this like now.
For your own benefit.
We really should, like, we don't normally get involved like openly, but seriously reverse this, because this is really a bad, this is like the amount of people going out, like, there is no benefit to this. No one is doing well out of this.
Yeah.
I haven't even seen rich people come out and say that I welcome it. No one's
think it should, yeah. No one's being gassed about it. It's the speed of which, I mean, we've seen, fairly quick effects from a budget before, but the pound has just disappeared into a hole. It's just gone.
She's just fucked it.
It's off the graph.
Liz Truss is like, it's just like a Coke can. She's just fucked it over the head.
It's quite funny.
I mean? She's just fucked.
Well, she's just waltzed in like, I'm going to fix the energy crisis by then shifting the problem onto the depreciation of the currency.
What I like about what's his name? You wouldn't know.
Quasimodo,
Quasi-Kwarteng.
I think that's the Hunchback of Notre Dame, actually. Is that right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Quasi-Kwarteng, what I like about him is, out of all the Tories, he at least has the decency to not pretend he knows what he's doing.
Yeah.
Have you seen his face?
No. Maybe. Is he the Chancellor?
Yeah. He never looks like he's confident in what he's doing.
Is his tie always a bit loose?
Well, he's just a bit like...
Some of his shirt untucked.
He looks like... You know when the guy accidentally walked into that BBC interview? You know,
yes.
Guy Goma?
Yeah.
That's
a legend, yeah. One of the funniest moments in TV history. Like, that isn't talked about
That's
enough.
what I think Quasi-Kwarteng looks like when he's delivering the mini budget.
And like doing his best, bless him.
Because if you think about it, the reshuffles that have happened are unprecedented. The amount, it's literally like, I would have never thought it would come to me this quick. Yeah. But he's like the only G left, because they've just gone through everyone.
Yes.
They've scraped the barrel so hard. He's like,
he's acting valiant.
I'm nowhere near ready for this. No idea. And the funny thing, I hope they change it, obviously for the country, but I just love the idea of like, this is what we're going to do. No, you really can't do it. Okay, we're going to change that. We won't do that. That was a bad idea.
We're going to retinker it. The pound's going to come back. Yeah, I don't know. I haven't read enough about it to actually know what's going on, but I've just seen plummet of currency. Plumbing. Yeah.
But this is not the topical podcast. This is the Q&A podcast. This is one of our many autumn treats that we have coming up for you guys, paying for our sins of being away for so long. Because there's nothing people love more than a Q&A. This is sort of our chance to connect with the fan base, and I always demand that they send in voice notes, because it can be a very isolated experience between performance and audience when we're just doing it in my room and they're consuming it solo.
Now they're in our room.
And we get to hear it, unsettling, unhinged. Sure. Do you have any questions as well?
Yeah, like a few. No, I don't think anything
actually
with voice
remember
notes.
Which ones they are, so I'm really going to be...
We'll just go in. In.
So this one's actually quite a long... There's 3 different ones.
3 different from the same person?
Yeah, and I don't think this is even a question.
Right. But I think it's also good to just air fans' grievances at times.
Okay.
It's a lovely start. Okay, here we go.
It's not a question, more something I just learned about lately is that crows can remember human faces, like associated with stressful situations for up to 5 years. And they also tell their friends. So, like, if someone is, like, a dick to a crow and they, like, kick a crow or something, they'll go and...
Is that a crow in the background?
Shh. They'll go and tell their friends and they'll be like, that guy's a dick. He kicked me. And so then, like, all the other crows will be assholes to him. But, yeah, I guess I'd just like to learn more about that. I don't know if that's relevant at all, but... Like, I know I could read it up, but I just think it'd be funny for the podcast.
That's one of 3 voice notes.
What do we settle on?
So you can, like, research about the crows.
Oh, right, it's all about crows.
Discuss it, and then I don't have to research it, and I can just listen to you talk about it. It'll be more interesting than reading up on it. the science behind it and whatever
She's
on
losing
Bird
steam
Watch
now, but then
Ireland.
she
So
decides
yeah,
to
there you go now.
To finish on a
Just
high.
really like the idea of this crow called like Jasper, and then Jasper's like a teenage crow, and he was out the back of this man Martin's house, and then he pissed Martin off. He pissed Martin off, and then Martin kicked him, and ever since then Jasper's been like going around telling all the crows what a dick Martin is. And then they assemble like outside Martin's house, and then they know when Martin is going to go to work each day. I don't know if they're any good at telling time. But like, they're like, yeah, let's go down. He's going to be going to work in 10 minutes. And they shit on him. And then Martin has to go back in and like clean all the bird shit off himself, and it happens like every day. I just think it's really funny.
It is really funny. Thank you so much, Katie Walsh. I mean, you asked us to talk about it, but I think you did an incredible job. I think that was a great riff you had there.
It's one way to start off this Q&A.
Let me just take, before she sent a message saying, can it be about anything?
Yeah.
And I said yes. So
that does include crows.
But she was trepidatious, like maybe
I shouldn't go fully into it, but I'm glad you did.
I'm glad you did.
And that was
it was really
excellent,
long.
really
the
good.
dogs,
Yeah.
you know.
Unfortunately, there's not much to say about it anymore because what she's done there is riff by herself for a bit. And come up with some gold.
Brilliant.
Come up with some absolute gold.
Thank you so much, Katie.
That is true. I've heard that.
Have you heard that as well?
Yeah. Have you not heard that?
No, I haven't heard this.
I heard it quite a long time ago, and it's like crows never forget a face. I don't know what
but the way you said that,
it sounds a bit like a redundant.
It sounds
idiom.
like something like a really sincere grandparent.
Like,
would
well,
say.
crows don't forget a face,
Crows never forget.
and
a
that's
face.
kind of a lesson of how you should treat people or crows.
Oh, is it a saying?
No, it's just true.
Crows
it sounds
yeah.
like an idiom, but
Because it does. Crows never forget, but it wouldn't be a great one because humans kind of.
crows are fucked, man.
Wow.
Yeah. Do you look at them? They're one of those that you look at them.
Oh, we're about to get cancelled.
Here we go. Yeah. The crow lobby are going to hit us as hard as the food waste lobby. But you look at them and they're always up to no good. Do you know what
They're not heroes, are they?
No, they're definitely
far
the
on the villain spectrum.
They're a bit like, and unfortunately, I love them too, but they've got the same energy as foxes. Neither of them are up to no good. They're definitely not like helping.
I think you could do, with the animal kingdom, you can do heroes and villains. And
Yeah,
there's
that's
a third
what-
point,
Right.
which is sort of like knaves and rogues.
Right,
Maybe
okay.
that's the wrong word for it, but do you know what I mean? Like squirrels and foxes are sort of knaves and rogues in the sense that they're up to no good, but it's a amoral.
They're kind of cheeky, no
It's
good.
a cheekiness.
Yeah.
You know, it's I don't know. It's sort of the character who's neither good or evil, but he's up to no good.
Yes.
But
What
there's
do
a
you think?
likability. It's not pure evil like a crow.
Yeah, no, I agree.
And I think you can split them all into three.
Yeah, the animal that's up to the best good, I think, would be a robin.
Robin's a hero.
Robins are really they're just
But are we
chirpy.
talking? Is it just vibes? Because like a lion looks like a hero,
It's just vibes.
so lion's a hero. You look absolutely terrified.
Okay. And don't cancel me for this. Male lions are heroes.
Female lions
are up to no good.
Yeah.
It's the mane that makes them the hero.
I do like it in the animal kingdom.
Do you know what I mean?
I like it when the men are hotter.
Yeah.
There's something kind of like nice. You know those
Listen.
birds where the men, like the male birds, are like gorgeous, multicolored. It's literally
Yeah,
like
yeah.
they're at, may I say it, Brazilian carnival.
And he did do it. that's
If they're
back-to-back Carnival references in the podcast.
And then the women literally look like they've fallen out of a gutter, just pure brown.
Are you talking lions?
No,
or-
I'm talking
sorry,
birds. I'm just saying it's an interesting dynamic in
Yeah.
the animal kingdom.
Well, because they
when the
do-
men are, because humans, I do think women are objectively sexier than men.
Humans are sexier than
I
men.
think women are more attractive than men.
Yeah, they've got the beauty aspect.
Yeah.
But in the bird world, the
But
men
I
have
think
to
the men-
court by doing all these dances and their flashy tails and their colourful things.
Yeah.
List off some animals and I'll say hero or up to no good.
Tiger.
Up to no good.
Wait, what about the three categories I chose? Is it so? It's
Well,
because
I
it's
don't
not
want to
villains.
do knaves and whatever it was. Can we just do hero or up to no good? Let's
Because up to no good in
Tigers are up to no good.
but not in a villainous.
Have you seen the
No,
Jungle
they're up
Book?
to no good. They are.
Yeah,
they
yeah,
are.
yeah. Just I'll do hero up to no good. But let's do quick fire.
Elephants,
Heroes.
definitely. Hippos.
Now, Now, in reality, they appear as heroes, but in reality, they're up to no good.
Yeah. Giraffes.
Heroes.
Definitely heroes. Sloths.
Heroes. But secretly up to no good.
What? Just because they're slow?
Yeah, and
it's suspicious.
Well, they're because they've been kind of induced into society as really cute, and everyone loves them. Look at their fingernails, man. Look at their faces. I don't actually think they're that cute.
No.
They're secretly like perverts.
Yeah. And moving that slow, there's something.
It's just weird.
There's an attention-seeking aspect.
What are you doing? Look at me, I can't move.
Yeah, there's something. Doing the most of anything in the animal kingdom is attention-seeking.
Grow up.
Cheetahs.
Up to no good.
Up to no good because they're running so fast.
Exactly. Where have you got to be? Where have you got to be?
What about reindeer?
Oh, heroes.
Bears.
Oh, up there with real high heroes. Bears, heroes.
Yeah. What about wolves?
Up to no good.
How long do you want to keep going?
More.
Blue whale.
Hero.
Orcas.
Up to no good.
Definition of up to no good, I think. They're the naughtiest little fuckers.
Yeah. Beavers, heroes.
Heroes. Basking shark.
Basking shark. Heroes.
Manta ray. Ginormous stingrays.
Up to no good. Up to no good. That's a fact that they're up to no good.
Salmon.
Salmon, up to no good.
Chickens.
Now, up to no good. The thing about any fish you find in a river is up to no good.
Why?
Their faces. You can't trust us. You can't trust a river fish's face.
Ants.
Heroes.
Prayer mantis.
Up to no good.
Yeah. Butterflies.
Heroes.
Moths. Up to no good.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's pretty clear.
Yeah.
It's pretty clear.
We can go for a while.
Right. Should we do another question?
Yeah. I think, actually, weirdly, squirrels would be one of the points in the middle of the spectrum. Because they are heroic looking. But they're also, if you get too close to a squirrel, then you sense that it's up to no good. But if you look at a squirrel from a distance, you're like, that's a hero.
See, I would put that in knaves and rogues.
Well, that's this dead character category that we're not going to pursue.
That's what I mean. It's because they're kind of
names and rogues.
Because they're up to no good, but in a likable way.
No, I do.
It's basically being up to no good, but not evil.
I think part of your knaves and rogues category is that you find the majority of them in parks. I think anything.
Not the majority of knaves.
Yeah, I think most knaves and rogues are in parks. Are park creatures, park folk.
Yeah,
like a badger. That's a knave or a rogue. A squirrel.
Yeah. But we're just talking about English animals now.
I know.
And there's only like 6 of them as well.
Yeah, exactly. Those are the knaves and rogues. Not like an English park. A squirrel.
Mole. Evil.
A mole's a knave.
No.
Or a rogue.
It's blind.
Yeah, exactly.
And it has
Yeah. You can't trust him.
What about Sheikh Abu? Hero or up to no good?
That requires a lot more information on the man.
We've got a lot of information.
But if he's everything he says he is, then obviously a hero. The man can solve immigration and antisocial behaviour in people.
All right, let me get another one. Okie dokie. Right. I think this is from one of our Australian listeners, Georgia Howie.
Welcome, Wild. My name is Georgia. I'm listening from Brisbane. A massive fan of the pod. And my question for you is, if you had the privilege, the honour and the opportunity, would you have sex with Mr. Worldwide himself, Pitbull? Why or why not?
I probably wouldn't have sex with Pitbull because I'm not gay.
Weird.
That would probably be... If I had the opportunity to have sex with Pitbull... I'm also in a relationship. So I guess the double whammy...
Yeah, but let's say like BB's fine with it.
BB's chill with me having sex with Pitbull.
Mr. Worldwide. Well, would she be... As is always the question with these things, are you delivering the goods or receiving the goods?
I think that's up to me.
Right, not Mr. Worldwide. You don't think that will be up to Mr. Worldwide?
Well, I feel if I'm already fucking Mr. Worldwide, I feel in this hypothetical, I should at least be allowed to choose.
Right, but what gives you the right to choose?
And I guess, but then I'm only thinking as a straight person that I would want to fuck Mr. Worldwide as opposed to getting fucked. Cause
I don't know. I just think if you're going to have a gay experience, take it like the chutney. Like, if one, I'm not sure I'll be able to perform by putting it in. You know what I mean?
And it's easy to perform if you're just
taking it.
Yeah.
And it's like, if I'm going to try it, fuck it, let's do it. That's my opinion on it. If I was to have gay sex, it would definitely be. I'd be.
You'd be bottom.
100%.
100%.
100%. Yeah. Wouldn't even think about it. Because one, I don't.
Wouldn't even think about it.
I don't.
Is the funniest response.
Well, yeah, straight in.
Just doesn't even think about it.
Just dive into it. Low expectations. I'll probably have fun.
You're getting fucked up the arse for the first time in your life.
Pitbull.
And you wouldn't even think about it.
Wouldn't even think about it. Let's do it. Let's give it a fucking shot. Because I don't think I'd be able to perform the other way. In fact, I'm almost certain I wouldn't. And then the other way.
Because you're not gay.
Yeah. And then the other way, fine. And it's like, the
when in Rome,
the prostate exists.
I'm not denying it.
I'm not sure about that. You've said some pretty worrying things recently.
Would I take? I just don't know if I could trust him to be gentle.
No, I think he'd fucking triplets. That was a
What, the beat?
Yeah, that's a reggaeton joke.
Is that the genre? Is that the genre that he does?
Very few people enjoy that. It's like.
Well, that's good then. If it's the genre he does, that's a great joke.
Would
it make it better that he's fucking you in triplets?
Yes.
Yeah. Because then you know when it's coming.
Favorite.
Then you don't want to get fucked by like a jazz drummer or someone.
No, I don't want syncopation in my bottom.
Experimental.
I've got a tattoo that says no syncopation, please.
One of those really experimental drummers, you know, the really weird ones. You don't want one of them fucking you.
Doing like 7-8 patterns in there. No, thank you. Like, if I'm going to come from prostate stimulation,
it needs
to be regimented.
And he looks like a penis. If you're getting fucked up the arse by someone for the first time, is it more or less comforting that the man wielding the penis also looks like the penis? More?
Yes.
Because you're more like, I can see sort of what's going in.
It becomes less scary. It's just like a miniature version of him.
Is it sort of like having sort of like a football mascot, or more like this represents the club I'm watching?
I think like a mascot.
Because it's like you're getting fucked up the arse, you can't see the dick, but then you can look up and see his head and be like...
It's nice to be able to see what's happening to you. You're like, oh yeah, that's what's in my bottom. It's Pitbull. But is there a man...
You've sold me. I'd have a gay experience with it.
Because
I'd toss him off. I don't want any penetration.
Right. You'd go for the toss off. Okay.
I wouldn't be able to blow him.
I
would get blown by him.
Would you?
That would be fun. Yeah.
But then just like in for a penny, out for a pound, man.
So what's the penny?
The hand job.
What's the pound?
Bum sex. It's true. Isn't there... Because I think we've had this discussion before, maybe off air, but about having, like, is there any celebrity male that you'd be like, yeah, have me?
Have me?
Yeah.
No.
Because I think I'd do it for Zac Efron.
You still say that?
I still find him fit.
Just such a slutty answer.
Yeah, I know. But I'm not like... I'm not going to have like a good taste in men when I'm not gay. I'm just like, I see... Because he's pretty. It's pretty boys that are like, have quite feminine features.
Have you seen his recent...
Yeah, well, that's not plastic surgery, apparently.
No, he fell into his fountain.
Yeah.
Do you not hear about this?
Yes, I did. Yeah,
okay.
Yeah. So all the slander about Zach can stop now. Frankly, it's disappointing.
No, it would be a rugged man, but I can appreciate male beauty, and it would not sexual.
Ray Winston.
Yeah, I'd not great. Just a couple of cans during an England game. I'd love to get fucked by Ray.
Sneak into the toilets.
No.
It has to be in the stadium. Is that what you're saying?
No, it's at the pub with the projector screen.
Ray Mears.
I would fuck Ray... Before we get into Ray Mears.
Ray Mears in a tent.
I'd fuck Ray Mears in a tent with no one. There's no one out there.
With his boots still on.
The reason why is because we're both animals and we're out, and it's like there's just the feral atmosphere of anything can happen. Yeah. Ray Winston, with the fever that happens when England go on a tournament run.
Yes.
Think semi-finals when we beat Denmark. Insanity. I would fuck Ray Winston in that.
Just to get out some sort of...
Well, just anything. Just fuck it, you know.
There you are, Ray. Get in here. Get in here. Yeah, no, I see that happening. It's just like a nationalistic fever.
What would you do if we're all, you know, when you know when Harry Kane scored the second goal in extra time against Denmark?
I'd find Ray Winston and I'd have sex with him.
Imagine this: we're all celebrating. I remember I got rugby touched to the ground and there's beer flying. It was just pandemonium, and it takes a while before you could even see anyone. Yeah. When you finally get back up after being on the ground for like 20 seconds, you see me bending Ray Winston and fucking him over. Yeah. How do you react?
Fuck you. Make it a train.
Do people do that?
Yeah. Yeah.
I've never even seen that. I didn't even.
You sound haunted.
No, but I mean
you sound haunted by something you've never seen.
What I'm saying is, you sort of with what is potential sexually, it's all been done.
Yeah.
So
you think like a bum train,
and I guess one of the benefits of the gay sexual situation is that you can cause a bum train.
You can cause a bum train, or even create a bum train.
It doesn't have a word for it that I've heard. It's not like and a lot of these things get out.
I bet there'll be something on Urban Dictionary.
Yeah. But then I bet there's something practical that gets in the way of a bum train. I'm sure, because we would have heard about, because it's
different positions of like when the bottom starts and finishes.
I think it's almost, if you're gonna be but it's also because if you're adding motion to fucking a dude up the arse, it's gonna be,
there's got to be harmony amongst the bangers. You
have a cox at the front, like the road.
Well, no, you just have Pitbull on the front going. And fuck.
That's happening after England score a winning goal in the semi-finals.
Yeah.
an immediate bum train.
It's the only proper way to celebrate the England team scoring, I think. But no, you're right, that would get in the way. You are actually right. I thought it would be an easy practice. It must happen all the time, but I guess it doesn't.
Right, let's get another one. All right, here's 2 1-second voice notes. I don't know how much they could have, from someone called Sarah Blansfield. That was the first one.
Great, yeah.
And the second one.
Well, it's funny you should say that, Sarah.
It was 21 seconds at the end.
My sister and I always ask this question when we meet people to see if we'll be able to trust them. There's only one right answer. Would you guys rather have dicks for toes or dicks for fingers? Sorry.
There's a lot. I don't think any of our listeners know when to stop a voice note. Just keeps going.
It's nice. So she sounds as American.
That was proper. Dicks for toes.
Dicks for toes.
Dicks for toes. When they go,
I feel that feels like somewhere around the Louisiana southern,
I love that,
or Pennsylvanian, because I didn't hear enough.
Accent.
It could be the steel towns of the upper west.
It's a good accent.
East side, upper east coast.
We don't know. It's a quick answer to that. So what was it? Dicks for toes or dicks for fingers? I feel like we spend so much of our podcast life discussing these.
I mean, we just got off the bum train and I was thinking that was a bit too smutty, but it's nice to get back into, and then we get the dicks for toes.
Well, this is the content that clearly people want if they're messaging in with it. Yeah. Dicks for toes or dicks for fingers?
And there's clearly one right answer, which puts a bit of pressure on
Sarah's friendship is at jeopardy here.
It has to be toes, obviously.
Well, but
because you can hide them.
Yeah, I guess that you can hide them, sure, but is there like a balance issue? Can you walk if you've got dicks for toes?
It definitely would have an effect.
Right. Well, can you use... Well, no, let's say...
Are they flaccid or erect?
Yeah, it's got to be.
Or do they change?
What, when you're aroused? That'll be a nightmare. Imagine 10 erect penises on your hand every time
you're on a date. You're on a date and she just like takes her jacket off and she turns back and
that's suddenly pointing upwards. I'm so sorry. Yeah, I mean, if they fundamentally produce the same motor functions that are necessary for toes or fingers, then it has to be toes because you can hide them away. And in reality,
if they don't, it still probably has to be toes.
If they don't, if they don't,
because this goes back to our further thing. If they don't,
then it imply you won't. It could imply you're not able to walk.
Yeah,
I guess it's just toes, but
then you won't be able to. You won't be able to use your hands
Yeah, and then what you gonna? Yeah, it's got to be toes.
It's got to be toes.
It doesn't seem. Are we missing something that makes it a conundrum, or is it just obviously toes?
It's obviously toes, and that's why she said there's a clear answer.
Okay. Well,
thanks, Sarah. It's nice to see the international. We've had Australian, Irish, and American.
Yeah.
All right. Here we got another one
From
Ella Alexandria.
That's different beers.
Hi, Horatio and Andrew. I have a question for the podcast. Year so far, 2022. Who's getting your vote for Boy Gone Wild of the year? Obviously, it's been a wild year.
It's a big question.
You've got Liam Payne.
Yeah.
Putin. Kwasi Kwarteng. He's a late contender for Boy Gone Wild, surely. Just some thoughts there. But yeah, who's getting your vote for Boy Gone Wild of the year so far? Thank you. Love the pod.
Exactly.
Good question.
It's a great question because it's like...
We often neglect to think about it.
Yeah, I mean, in discussion about football, there's a term nostalgia merchant, which is the idea of something being further away. It kind of is more esteemed. So it's easy to forget about someone. Like Kwasi Kwarteng, as we mentioned at the beginning, there is something there.
Yeah. Yeah, well,
opening with the worst budget of all time. And and just
and it wasn't
he gets handed the keys to the economy and crashes it immediately.
And it's technically
just like that.
It was classed as a mini budget as well. So for a mini budget to have such a major effect, it's very, very Boy Gone Wild attitude.
Really, there's nothing that sums up the spirit of Boys Gone Wild than the confidence of setting out a radical budget and immediately
for it to tank within a day. For several external bodies to step in and say, I think you need to change this. That's definitely...
So, you mentioned Liam Payne, who, obviously...
I think he's got to win.
Liam Payne, I guess the problem is Liam Payne, Kwasi Kwarteng, though it has a big scale, he's only done one big fuck up.
It's too early.
And Liam would come back from one and top it with another.
What's the guy's name? Kwasi Kwarteng.
Kwasi Kwarteng.
Kwasi Kwarteng.
Yeah.
Kwasi Kwarteng. If Kwasi Kwarteng comes in with another fuck up, then he'll.
Then we'll start talking. But this is a mid-year sort of reflection. This is the mid-season review. It's not the final award.
Sure.
So
yeah.
There's nothing official here. It's more just when there's like football players halfway through the season, like football pundits on like a Sunday papers set, and they start discussing who's the player of the year so far. This is not an awards thing.
No, it's not. It's just a discussion of where we're at currently. It's keeping track.
Putin will have a big claim. It's less fun, but he's starting to fuck it as well.
Yeah, I'm not sure about how advisory it is for us to call Vladimir Putin the official Boy Gone Wild of the year thus far.
But then he's one who's managed to recapture like a historical level of effect.
He's like a ye old boy gone.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like
despotic king shit.
100 years will pass. And, sadly, I think Liam Payne will disappear to the history books. Kwasi Kwarteng's mini budget hopefully will disappear.
You never know. It could be the thing. Could be the thing that starts the decline of everything.
Putin fucking freaking out and invading Ukraine. That's some historic. That's Genghis Khan shit.
It's epoch level shit.
And as you say, part of Boys Gone Wild, there's I don't know what the exact spectrum of what makes Boy Gone Wild, but scale.
Mostly they are on the spectrum.
They are nearly entirely
on the spectrum.
But one of the components that rates a Boy Gone Wild is scale. That has always been.
Yeah.
Genghis Khan's big thing is just the scale of it.
In reality, Liam Payne's scale isn't huge.
But then
he's not influencing global events, but he's certainly influencing global culture.
It's true, but then he has all the other aspects of a Boy Gone Wild that maybe doesn't have scale, but it's just more. There's just a mindset there that is.
It's
more...
the perfect Boy Gone Wild personality.
Yeah.
It might not have as major consequences on geopolitics, but it's sure as heck up there. I think it's Liam Payne.
I think you all three you mentioned were today, global and personal.
Kwasi, second bit.
You're on the news.
Second bit.
This is
second bit. The Chancellor of the Exchequer, Kwasi, second bit. What's the second bit?
No.
Second bit, please. Can I please have the second bit? Quoto? Is it Kwasi Quoto? The Chancellor of the Exchequer, Kwasi Quoto? That doesn't sound right. Quarte. I forgot where I was going to say this year.
Can I have the second bit? Second bit, please.
Second bit now. I need the second bit, please.
Can I have the second bit, please?
Please, might I have the second bit?
Just constantly asking.
Could really use the second bit. Right
Can I please have the second?
I'm in quite dire need of the second bit.
All right.
But we got to say someone who's done it thus far in the
It's
year.
Liam. I thought we agreed Liam.
Yeah, I didn't hear you agree, Liam. That wasn't a dig, even though it sounded like one.
Right, we got one here. Well, we got one that, to be fair, has not been delivered as a voice note, or maybe it has in Patreon, but has been asked for the last year and a half, which is our thoughts on Jeremy Corbyn.
For the last year and a half?
She's been asking this for a while.
It's hard to stay up to date with current affairs.
Yeah, and we keep putting
the
it
opposite
off
of affairs.
Because it's almost like deserves a whole ep.
Big man Corbyn.
Yeah.
Does it?
Yeah, Corbs, I feel.
But what's he been doing?
He hasn't been doing anything, but I mean...
That's struggling, then, to come up with things to talk about.
So, just pledge to... This is a message on Patreon. Just pledge to the BGW Patreon to treat myself for my birthday. Happy birthday. Your podcast is the only thing keeping me sane. That's sad. No, sorry, I mean, that's concerning. I mean, not sad.
Smashing it. Keep going.
And I already listened to all the other episodes on Spotify, so it was time. I'm still waiting for you to teach me all about Jeremy Corbyn as promised in one of your earlier episodes, though. Anyway, add me to the demographic of teenage girls who are called Molly, though my friends call me Albie. Right,
Why?
Albie.
Why?
I don't know.
You presumed you're her friend.
Yeah.
That was pretty bold, actually.
That was. Molly.
That was almost like a power move.
Yeah.
So, Albie. You fucking saying.
I think it was interesting with the Jeremy Corbyn thing. That was probably the most we've got into politics and if we look back at our kind of youth political era, it will be defined by Jeremy Corbyn.
The summer of hope.
The summer of hope. You know, the older
Followed
people had the Nick Clegg period where they promised to cut. That was their thing.
Yeah.
Our thing was the Jeremy Corbyn. And the most into politics, when I was most politically active, was when I campaigned for Jeremy Corbyn for one day, admittedly. I often bring it up.
Yeah.
I did one day.
I remember, yeah.
But I will constantly bring it
You
up.
sent me numerous selfies when you were doing it.
But the fact that I'd done it for one day, I can always say, well, I campaigned for him, so I can't have not liked him.
Yeah.
So I've got that for life. So it was definitely worth it time-wise.
I campaigned for him in my own way.
For sure.
It's kind of
And
a joke,
I think with him, he sort of defined what we thought about politics. But my main criticism of him is that he's a bit thick.
Well, I think your main criticism often is that interview.
Which interview?
The tie.
No, it was the glasses. No, I don't think he's obviously smart.
Yeah.
But
it's tough to take a man seriously.
And I really like him. And I think the most emotional I've ever really got about politics, or confused or like upset, was during the whole anti-Semitism thing, because I got so confused, and it felt to me like it was such a malicious and planned attack to get rid of Jeremy Corbyn. I just found it really upsetting and confusing, all the different people saying things, and I just couldn't work out.
All the different people saying things.
Yeah, it frazzled my brain a little bit.
Yeah.
And I do think he's a genuinely good person. And the movement I support, he just seemed to be the guy at the front of that movement.
Well, and the only one for a very, very long time where you've had an actual left-wing person who says the word socialism is the leading the official Labour Party.
Which is, we'll look back on as being insane that he got as far as he did.
Which is terrible, and that's terrifying, because I think part of it was it felt like this is the only chance we have to have someone who's actually left-wing, not centre-left, become potentially the Prime Minister, even though there was never really a chance at all.
2017 gave us a lot of hope, because that was such an exciting election.
It was good.
That was the most fun politics has ever been.
Also part of
when
it.
They called a snap election to crush Corbyn, and he just fucked them.
And also, it was because we had a candidate who was actually left wing rather than centre left. It was one of the first times we've had in a while, and definitely haven't had since, where it's a lot more of an ideological debate rather. than
it was about values,
current affairs debate.
Who's got the shiniest suit?
Yeah, who's got the straightest tie?
Yeah, exactly. It felt like it was genuinely...
Yeah.
We had Johnson versus Corbyn. And I think the moment when I really went off politics was when the exit poll arrived. We'd been campaigning all day for the 2019 general election for Corbyn, and we then sprinted down, got the train to this pub that was showing the election live, and it was packed, so we couldn't even get in. So we were just outside looking through the window, like hard to even see this big screen, and we were out there for like 5 minutes talking, and then we kind of like, I know there was a bit of hope there. We're like, you know what, I think you might. And then the exit poll came in, and it was just brutal. It was horrible, way worse than we could have ever imagined, and that feeling of that deflation.
Yeah. Oh, it's definitely not going to happen, yeah.
And I just saw that, and I was like, I never really got into politics properly since then.
So you went campaigning for one day,
and
it didn't
my
go
career
your way once.
My career is
hung
over.
Up your hat.
My political career is over
on the hat rack. That's enough for me.
Yeah, I'm getting into Mick Lynch though. I fucking love Mick.
Is that the train man?
The train man with the
I agree.
The tastefully uncomfortable suit that all union men should wear. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
there's something.
It can't be too nice. It needs to be
you know
a bit
what I mean?
like you've just got off from driving a train.
there's no material worse than a head of a union suit blazer.
Yeah, polystyrene.
It's just like you can just tell that is fucking. If that just touches your bare skin, that is burning.
Eczema straight away.
Yeah, straight away.
Yeah.
So I guess that's our thoughts on Jeremy Corbyn. And
Bookmark Boys.
Bookmark Boys. The main question, even though this is a question special, the main question that everyone's been asking is
yes.
No, it is. You know the question that they've been asking all of us the whole time.
Where do I get the flyest bookmarks in town?
Well, let me help you. Bookmark bum boys, as I call them.
No.
Bookmark the bum train.
No.
Hate
both of those.
No. It's
try again.
It's a callback to the earlier.
I know it's a callback. Yeah. Still hate it. Try something else.
Well, what about can I pitch you an advert?
Of course. We've never done that.
I'm going to pitch you an advert. Take what I said earlier about the England scoring a winner at the semi-finals, immediately forming a bum train with Ray Winston.
Right.
Pitbull's at the front as a Cox doing reggaeton or whatever it is.
As Cox with his cock.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That works.
So you could be going,
works.
rhythm.
And people are on TV going, what the hell's this bloody about? There's a lot of references going on here.
Right, yeah.
And then I come into frame. No, I'm in the bum train.
Right.
So you come into frame.
Of course.
Fully dressed in a suit.
How about I'm at the back of the bum train? It slowly pans out to reveal me. And
you're
I
wearing
take my penis out of the bum train and slowly walk into camera.
You're wearing like a centrist politician suit.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
A unionist suit.
No,
like
a David Cameron, Nick Clegg.
Keir Starmer.
Yeah, you know the type. But your penis has only gone out through your zipper.
Right.
So you take it out, you zip it up, and you come to frame, and you say, "This is a bum train."
And this is Bookmark Boys.
This is a bum train.
Yeah.
Or as I like to call it, a Bookmark Boys bum train.
Right, and then hold up that bookmark of Louis Theroux and say the website name. www.bookmarkboys.com. It hasn't got legs.
I think in my head it was bookmark bums.
Boys.
I think there was something. I thought it was like a boy train, so it was going to be like a Bookmark Boys train. I forgot it was bum train, so it doesn't really work.
Yeah, I think mine would be. So it opens and it looks like a charity advert, like an expose of all the child labour that's going on. And then
there's loads of it.
There's a lot. And you can see them, and it's like, who does them all the time at the moment? Oh, what's her name? Who's the Peep Show actress that just won an Oscar, or not just won an Oscar?
Sally Hawkins? No, she's not.
No.
Olivia Colman.
Olivia Colman. So it was Olivia Colman narrating it. And it's about all the terrible conditions of third world countries who are forced into labour by various outlets and companies. And you can see them making bookmarks. But then it just slowly turns into, it's an advert for Bookmark Boys. Because they use child labour.
What's the unique, what's the selling point?
Well, it's a charity advert. There's actually an advert. So you're thinking, isn't this bad? And then it's like, oh no,
it's an ad.
You can buy it, yeah. You can buy it.
Does any of the proceeds go to stopping it?
None of them. No, it's just like it's just showing you behind the labour process. But it has the feel of it. It's like a
behind the
slow
scenes
motion with like
sad
music going on. And then at the end it says, get 10% off with / Boys Gone Wild.
I like the idea of 5% of all sales go to stopping the labour camps.
Yeah, like stopping the company. Yeah, 5% of sales goes to helping the humanitarian crisis we perpetuate, and you also perpetuate the 90% of the money that you get goes there. It's a very confusing thing because it's part of this
charitable.
Thing. Yeah, it's part of this thing like Costa do it all the time,
Yeah.
or used to. I remember this at uni, where they'd give like a certain amount to the kind of the bean farmers that they were using. So it's a very confusing thing to be given to a company that are also making the situation worse, but they'll give 10% of the profits.
I love it. There's something really dystopic, because also you can imagine that being like some weird tax break rule. Like if you have 5% of a charity, then you get a big tax break, so they're actually making more money out of it.
Exactly. So it's a way to feel good about the purchases that you're doing that are technically making things worse.
Brilliant. Right, let's get another question. Right, who have we not? Okay, this is from Holly Basley. Is it all been women this time?
Thus far, yeah.
I need to restart it. Okay, let me just start it from the beginning. Right, here we go.
Okay, so answering this might get you cancelled, but you should do it anyway.
Whoops.
If King Charles invited you to a secret royal orgy, and it obviously been a mistake, it's meant to invite another Horatio Gold, would you go anyway, just for the experience?
I mean, so if we compare it to the Pitbull one, which I kind of struggled to conceptualize, this is just 100% yes.
There is no way in hell it would be a no.
This is like, there's not.
There's
the
no
Pitbull
bad
one
reason
confused
for
me
going.
because it's kind of, I don't know. But this one, it's
It's
just
a real eyes wide shut situation.
Yeah, it's 100% yes.
And you've got to do it.
Oh, 100%.
I think that is the plot of Eyes Wide Shut.
For sure. And if I was ever actually going to have we said Ray Mears, we said Ray Winston.
Right.
If I was ever going to have a gay sex experience, it would be...
I did ask that.
Did you?
Yeah.
I wasn't listening.
So it would be King Charles would be...
No, it's an orgy. There's another men to choose from.
True.
I don't want those fat fingers anywhere
It'd be
near
a
me.
shame if King Charles invited you to an orgy, it was just him.
Looking sad with his crown on his head.
And a mask on.
I can see it's you.
And a red cock.
Like, the mask is really small.
No, it could be anyone. I've invited many people here. It's not just me.
My name is Charlena.
What? Charlena.
I'm a woman.
I'm a woman. Can't you see? Now use my bottom. God's sake.
Christ,
it's
smart.
smart. When we open it up,
Do you have a question?
Oh yeah.
For me.
For you. Yeah. How are you? Yes. The question reads thus, and it will take a moment because I have not got this up. However, we quickly find it. Okay. This was asked. Where's that thing? How do I do the general thing? I'm not very good at social media. All requests? I know I accepted it. Ready?
Yeah.
You seem to be flicking. This
I'm just
is
looking for
from
more.
Ella Greenery.
Yeah.
Would you rather sprint every time you walk? This is a good one. Would you rather sprint every time you walk or scream every time you talk? Before you answer, think about A, going through an airport, and B, walking down the aisle.
Okay, that's brilliant. So I guess, obviously, hypothetically, if you try and sprint...
No, if you try and walk, you sprint.
Yeah, but if you try and sprint, you sprint as well.
Yeah, but you've missed the point.
Yeah, no, I have.
Because the problem isn't, if you want to sprint and you sprint, that's convenient.
No, I know.
Every time you try and walk,
But I'm saying it's not been reversed. Obviously not.
No. Yeah, because sprinting
then
is
you can just
very
sprint.
rare
Yeah.
in reality. So every time you sprint, you walk, or every time you talk, you scream. It's annoying because it can nearly rhyme, but
That's a great one. It's to boil it down, it's the value of walking or talking.
I think it's not. I think it's actually a clear one.
It's every time you talk, you scream.
No.
Really?
No. Okay. Cool. We've got something. No, because look,
You just
how often?
running off.
Yeah, I know, just running. But if you put on fitness.
What?
If you sprint everywhere you walk, everywhere you need to go to, you're going to become more
It'd
fit.
be hell.
No, but you're going to become more fit.
I mean, wouldn't that be the funniest way to exercise as well?
Yeah. Sprinting.
How do you stay fit? I just run everywhere.
Wherever I go on a journey, I have to sprint. But if you sprint anywhere, and that's fine because there isn't. What would you prefer? Okay, a classic. You've got to think about how lives generally unfold. So I'm talking at work and socially. Getting to work or getting to a job or whatever, I can put up with sprinting there. You know, I can sprint to the tube if I need to. It's going to have to happen. I'm going to have to sprint down the stairs and onto the tube. I'm aware of that.
What about when you get off the tube?
But I'm fine with it. Of course, when you get off the tube, you've got to sprint to your office. But then once you enter the office and you're sat down at your desk, you can then be a rational, normal, functioning
roll
member
around.
of society. And then rolling, that's true. When you get to the pub...
when you need the toilet.
I can sprint to the pub and I can sit down... I can sprint to the pub, I can then sit down with my friends and have a normal conversation. Flip it the other way around, I'm walking to work and I get into work and I'm screaming in every business meeting I have. You're not going to... There is no way in hell you're getting employed. How can you... You can't pass a job interview if you're screaming. And at the same time, you get to the pub with your friends, if you've got any left, and then you're sitting around in the circle when everything you say in that conversation is a scream. It's got to be sprint when you...
No, I think you told it. You're right. It does have to be.
Because every work and social life, and those are the two things that we do perpetually, day in, day out, those things, one of them isn't actually that affected by it.
So she brought up walking down the aisle. I mean, you could just...
they
should
men,
know by that.
As men, we won't be walking down the aisle.
No, it's true.
But as women...
you're sprinting now.
Now, I get that. I get that. And the airport, I think that's what she was saying, because think about those before you go in straight away. Airport, yeah, it'll be awkward when you're standing in the security line.
No, but standing's fine.
Yeah, I know, but then when you take 2 steps, you've got to sprint those 2 steps.
Yeah.
And when they say walk through the thing, the metal detector,
you're running.
You've got to be sprinting. And
you would get...
You're going to get strip searched every single time. But that's... I will take... Because those are true... Those are good points. But however... You've got to realize that those are rare. One of them happens once in your life, hopefully, but the other one, you know, is happens every now and again. You've got to take everything.
Yeah, I guess you can't have friends. I guess you can have online friends, but you can't have friends if you're the screaming person.
Online friends?
No, people you message online.
Yeah, doesn't sound lovely. I haven't got any real friends. We've got lots of online friends.
Because you're just one of the worst hangs ever.
Oh no, it's not fun.
Yeah.
You'd have to get you'd have to act as if you were deaf almost. You'd have to learn sign language.
We'll move on to the Patreon now. We'll have the rest of the questions on there. Thank you so much for listening, guys. Subscribe to the Patreon, and we'll see you guys next week.
Right.